Hello and welcome to our latest battle report. Today we are going into the match play side of things with the first Incursion mission, Divide and Conquer. So quite a cool mission. We've got 4 objectives over the battlefield, and the primary objective is if you control 1 you get 5 victory points, if you control 2 you get 5 victory points, and if you hold more than your opponent you get an additional 5 victory points. Now obviously in match play there's a maximum score you can get from the primaries of 45 points. So, you know, if you hold them for 3 turns, potentially you've got the rest of the game then to focus on your secondaries and get some other stuff done, which is really cool. You earn these at the end of your command phase, so you can't score any in the first turn. And then we're going to be playing the Sisters of Battle versus the Adeptus Mechanicus. So let's have a look at the armies and what secondaries we've picked. So the Adepta Sororitas are in force today in the Argent Shroud, here to sort out the Adeptus Mechanicus. They've had enough of their nonsense. So leading the army is the Canoness. She's got the Rod of Office, giving her a 9-inch reroll ones to hit aura. She's got Power Sword and the Wrath of the Emperor war gear, a cool 18-inch 4-shot pistol, which would be really cool. She's accompanied by a missionary with a shotgun. He's there to hand out attacks to units within 6 inches, because that seemed like a sensible thing to do. Troops-wise, we have got 3 squads of 5 sisters, one of which wielding a heavy bolter because I have a spare 10 points. But their job is pretty much to look after objectives and try and score secondaries. In the elite slot, we've got 8 Repentia. These things are really, really scary on the charge, and I'm hoping Dave hasn't got too much in the way of combat units, so hopefully mangle some stuff with them because they're really fun. We've got a big unit of 4 mortifiers, 3 mortifiers and an anchorite, each armed with the heavy bolters and the penitent flails to obliterate some stuff in close combat and hopefully shoot some stuff up on the way into there. A big squad of 5 retributors with multi-melters and a combi melter, and 2 ammo cherubs for when you absolutely, positively have to kill everybody in the room. And then finally we've got an exorcist, loaded out with the exorcist missiles to blow up any pesky tanks and flyers that Dave may bring to the battlefield.
Okay, so today I'm going to be bringing the Adeptus Mechanicus, in particular the Mars Forge world. My army is going to be led by a Tech Priest Dominus. He's going to have the relic, the Pater Cog Teeth. I have also got a Daedalus, so he's going to be giving me +1 to hit on units that he points out within 24 inches. Going into my troops, I have a unit of 3 Cataphron Destroyers, each armed with a Cognos Flamer and a heavy grav cannon. I've got a unit of 5 Rangers. I also have a unit of Vanguard. Now this unit of Vanguard is 7 strong. Moving into elites, I wanted something a bit quicker, so I got some infiltrators in here. So I've got a unit of 5, they're armed with the tasers and fletchette basters. I've got one of my favourite Adeptus Mechanicus units, I've got the Castellan Robots. I've got the 2 of them, no space for the data smith in this army, but they're still really good on their own. I then have a Dune Crawler armed with a neutron laser and the extra heavy stubber, so we've got 2 heavy stubbers on this guy. And finally, to round out the list, I wanted to bring something new from Engine War. So I've got the Archaeopter, the Fusilier variant.
And so we are deployed. 1,000 points of Sisters of Battle versus the Adeptus Mechanicus. So I think we've both got similar plans for this mission. Fairly aggressive, I think.
Yeah, don't want to be messing around.
So yeah, we've pretty much got a line of Sisters down here. We've got some mortifiers on the far end. We have got the Exorcist on this side. And then all the Adeptus Mechanicus seem to be clumped in the centre here with the flyer supporting there.
But they're not all there, Matt.
They're not. So you've put the, what are these guys? The Ruststalkers.
So I've got the Infiltrators are deep striking, which is on their data sheet, but I have spent a CP to put the Vanguard in strategic reserves, Matt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they'll be turning up later in the battle to cause some havoc. So yeah, so I think this is going to be pretty much down to who gets the first turn here. So should we roll off to see who gets the choice?
I think we should.
So you've rolled a 6. Ooh. Would you like the first turn?
Ooh, yes, I think I will take the first turn, Matt. Okay, so it's the beginning of my turn 1. I've gained a command point because it's the beginning of my turn. I've got a couple of things to do. So my Warlord trait on my Dominus, I get to pick from one of 3 different abilities for Divinations of the Magos. I'm going to choose Overloaded Safeguards, which is basically any hit rolls of 6 gives me an extra hit within a 6-inch aura oven, which is pretty tasty. I also get to roll for my Canticles, so because I'm Mars I get to roll 2 dice and apply both results. So that's a 1 and a 6, so I'm re-rolling failed morale tests, and I'm re-rolling failed hit rolls of 1 for affected units in the shooting phase. So morale could come up, but yeah, the re-rolling hit rolls of 1 is pretty good.
Okay, so at the start of the turn as well, I generate a miracle dice as well. So this works very similar to the Destiny dice if you played Age of Sigmar. There's each. So I've got a 6 I can spend when I wish. I've also selected my Sacred Right, Hand of the Emperor, so my units that can make use of that ability add 1 to the advance roll and their charge roll.
Okay, so that's the end of my movement phase. I've moved everything up because I want to get lots of line of sight on different units. I have of course got First Strike as a secondary objective, so it is imperative I kill something in this first turn. The Fuselav has flown over the battlefield, over the Repentia, over the sister battle, and at the end of my movement phase I can choose to drop a bomb. So I'm going to drop my bombs on your Repentia mat.
Okay.
So I get a dice for each model in the unit, and on a 4+ you suffer a mortal wound. So I just happen to have 8 dice right here. 6 mortal wounds to you.
Okay, so 6 Repentia have been blown up here by the fuselage. Luckily they've got 5+ ignore wounds. So 3 of them die.
Start of my shooting phase, my Daedalus is going to point at these Retributors here, so that's going to make them +1 to hit for any units within 6 inches of him. So that's pretty tasty. But I'm going to start my shooting phase with the Fuselav, so that is going to fire all of its heavy stubbers at your Repentia. So this thing is hitting on freeze, and I'm re-rolling 1s because of my Canticle Benevolence. Let's see how many hits I can get. Rolls.
Wounded on 3s.
Wounded on 3s.
So the Repentia have only got a 7+ save, however, they have got their Shield of Faith ability, and they're within range of the Canoness, so they're doing that on a 5+. They save 2 of them, and then they ignore wounds on a 5+ as well. So they've saved them all.
So my Castellan Robots are going to go next. Hopefully they'll do a better job than the Fuselav, and they're going to open up on these sisters. So they're looking for 4s, and we're re-rolling 1s. So these are strength 6, so I'm going to be wounded on 2s on these.
Okay, so that brings their save down to a 5+. Let's see if the sisters can survive this. And no, they're dead.
Okay, so next up is going to be the Dune Crawler. It's going to put all of its shots into Matt's Missile Rack of Doom. So I'm going to shoot with the heavy stubbers first. So he's got 2 of them, so I've got 6 shots. So I'm going to be hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Okay, now those 6s equal an extra hit because they're within the Warlord trait range. So I've got another 3 hits there as well. And then this is strength 4, so I'm wounding on 6s. So that is 2 saves.
Okay, so it's got a 3+ save, and it is fine.
I'm going to fire the neutron laser next, so that gets D3 shots. 3 shots. Okay, re-rolling 1s. All 3 have hit. Wounded on 3s. My Cataphrone Destroyers are going to go next. I'm going to split fire. These 2 that have got line of sight on the Repentia are going to shoot those. And then this one at the back, he can't see them, so he's going to shoot that tank. We're going to go with him first. So he gets 5 shots. So 4's the hit. Okay. That scores an additional hit, so we'll just keep that in there. And then 5s and 6s to wound. So that's 2 wounds.
2 wounds, okay, so it's -3 AP.
Yep.
So 6s to save these. Nope, both of them go through.
And they're D3 damage. So
2 damage.
2 damage. Okay, now the shots into the Repentia. I do score an extra hit, so that's 1 extra. Wounded on 3s.
Okay, so we have got, it goes through their armour, but they've got their 5+ invulnerable save, which they do not save, and then they ignore wounds on a 5+.
Yeah.
So 3 of them die.
Okay, so my Rangers are going to be shooting last. They're going to be firing at the 2 remaining Repentia. So hopefully I can finish this unit off. That's the plan. So I've got 4 rifles in range. I'm looking for freeze. Okay, not very good that. So 1 hit. We need a 3 to wound. We have wounded, but it's a full save.
Okay, so I've got a 7+ save, so I just get my 5+ invulnerable, which he passes.
So that is the end of my first turn because I'm not going to charge anything. Nothing's really in charge range. I think that'd be silly. So I think we're moving straight onto your morale, Matt.
Yeah, so these Repentia have lost a lot of models, 6 models there. So I'm going to use the new auto pass. Now it's once per game now and it costs 2 CP. But critically, I need to deny Dave some victory points here. So I am going to spend 2 command points to stop these from running.
Okay, so it's time to tally up some points from my first turn. So although technically you're supposed to get it at the end of the game, we will say now that I will have secured 5 victory points for destroying a unit with first strike. I was hoping to kill more than 1 unit, but there you go. We obviously don't score any of the objectives on the battlefield yet, and I haven't got any for bring it down because I've not taken any vehicles out yet.
And not a lot happening here, but no command abilities going off. I do, however, get a command point. So we'll move on to the movement phase and see what happens. Okay, so onto my movement phase, and pretty much everything ran up the board. The Argent Shroud are very quick because they really have no penalties to advance in. So they just pelted it up the battlefield.
Scary.
I did have to spend a command point to re-roll the run result with these just to get them within 3 inches of that objective because I want to try and get as many points as I can this turn to try and get a bit of a lead on Dave. So yeah, the Repentia have snuck them here as well. Then their movement phase, they're going to start doing their action in order to score the objective for the centre of the board as well. Okay, so the Exorcist is going to open up in the shooting phase first. I'm going to spend a command point to use the Devastating Refrain stratagem. I can re-roll the number of shots on any of the dice. That cost me 1 CP. And then yeah, we'll see how many shots they get. It gets 3d3 shots.
And what's it shooting at, Matt?
It's shooting at these guys.
At the Cataphren Destroyers. Cool.
So, I've got... we're going to re-roll both of these with that rule. This is hitting on 3s. Ooh, there's a few misses there. And it is strength 8.
And I'm toughness 5.
So it's wounding on 3s. So that is 3 wounds at AP -3.
Okay, so that's just going to be my invulnerable save. I'm just going to roll your dice there, Matt. So I'm looking for 6s. Okay, I saved 1, but that 2 have gone through.
Yep, so they're d6 damage each.
Okay,
So
I've
the
got 3
first
wounds.
one does 3 damage,
Okay, so that's 1 dead.
and the second one does 4 damage.
That's another 1 dead, Matt.
And then the heavy bolter is hitting on 3s, and it is wounding on 4s. So that is 2 more wounds from the heavy bolter.
Okay, is this -1?
-1 on the heavy bolter, yeah.
So use your dice. So I'm looking for 5s.
That's another 2 wounds.
So another 2 wounds, so he's left with 1 wound remaining.
Okay, so the sister squad is going to try and finish off this Cataphren Destroyer because I don't want this thing hanging around.
Well, you also want to deny me those 3 victory points as well if you...
There's other stuff that can kill stuff, Dave, don't worry. So the heavy bolter first will be hitting on 4s because they did move. So that is 2 hits with a heavy bolter. That will be 4s to wound you. That is 1 save to make it, -1.
-1, 5 plus. Oh, we made it!
And then we've got 8 shots with the bolters. So these will be hitting on 3s. And wounding on 5s. So that is another 2 saves to make.
Another 2 saves to make. Let's use your dice there. Full saves. Okay. Yep, we're okay.
Okay, so this squad of 5 sisters is going to rapid fire into the robots. So they will be hitting on 3s with 10 shots. So they'll be wounding on 5s. And that is a wound, so 1 save to make for the robot.
Okay, full save.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Okay, then this squad here is going to be doing the same, firing into the robots. So hitting on 3s. Okay, so because they're in range of the canoness, they'll be re-rolling 1s to hit. And that is a hit there. And then again, these are wounding on 5s. So that is another save to make.
Okay. And he's okay.
So the cannons are going to be firing the Wrath of the Emperor into them as well, so pistol 4. So that's 4 hits, and should be wounding these on 5s as well. That is 2 more saves to make it -2.
-2, you say? Okay, I failed one.
So that's 2 damage. The missionary's going to fire his shotgun into the robots as well. He'll be hitting on 4s, and he misses. Okay, so then the mortifiers are going to unleash their heavy bolters into the robots as well. So these will be hitting on 3s with an awful lot of shots.
Put all those dice.
Okay, and these will be wounded on 5s. So that is 9 saves to make on the robots.
Looking for 3s on my normal save. So yeah, that's 3 damage.
Okay, so on to the charge phase. I'm going to use Holy Rage on the Penitent Engines to allow them to charge after advancing. So they're going to charge the robots.
Charging into the Castellans. Well, Matt, I'm going to spend a CP to Overwatch.
Okay, so the robots are going to unleash hell with some Overwatch here.
I'm looking for loads of 6s here.
That's 1 hit.
Which becomes 2 hits with the Warlord trait, so 2 hits. Okay, I'm looking at freeze to wound. So that is 1 wound at -2.
Okay, so we're looking at a 3+ save down to a 5+ save. -2, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, failed it. How much damage is that?
Just 1 damage.
Just 1 damage, so they ignore it on a 6. Nope, that is 1 damage on the mortifiers. So the mortifiers are going to charge in there. They need 7 inches to get in here now. Because they haven't got the correct keywords, I can't use Miracle Dice and I can't use my Sacred Rites ability, but they're only 7 inches away. I'm sure I can do this. So 7-inch charge needed to get in and murder some robots. That is not a 7. Okay, so I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that because, yeah, these things have to die.
I think that's fair.
And that is a 4 again. So that's the end of my turn. The only thing that needs to happen here is the morale check for this Castellan Destroyer here.
Yeah. So I was going to spend 2 CP to auto pass it, but I don't roll 6s, so surely I'm going to be okay. No, I'm okay.
Okay, so that's a pretty good turn for me. I know I didn't manage to kill any units. However, I have scored all of my secondaries, scoring 10 victory points this turn. Dave gets an additional 3 points there though because he has killed more units than me. He can't score any more points with that secondary now though. Okay, so on to Dave's turn 2. At the start of the battle round, I get a Miracle Dice, which is a 1.
Good for morale.
Dave's also got a command point in the command phase. Anything else happening in the command phase, Dave?
My Warlord is going to choose the overloaded safeguards again, so 6 is scoring an additional hit. I'm going to keep that going. Right, I also need to roll for my Canticles because it's the beginning of a new turn. So again, 2 dice. We've got a 6 and a 3. So again, we're re-rolling 1s in the shooting phase, and a 3 is Chancellor Remorseless Fist. I'm re-rolling hit rolls of 1 in the fight phase.
End of the command phase, Dave also gets 5 points for having 1 objective.
So that's the end of my turn 2 movement phase. Some stuff's moved quite aggressively. In particular, these robots, they've got their eye on these mortifiers this turn. They need to go down. My flyer has zipped across and has flown over these mortifiers, so he's going to be dropping some bombs in a moment. Dune Crawler stayed where it is. The destroyer has moved round to get close to those sisters. Unfortunately, because of the changes to terrain, he couldn't really drive over that and finish his base over, so he's taking the long way around. Rangers are staying where they are. The Vanguard have made an appearance from Strategic Reserve. I was going to hang them back for another turn, but I feel because Matt's in such a strong position on the objectives, I need to do some damage to them. And then finally, my Infiltrators have deep strike down with their eyes on this sister squad on this objective. Right, first things first, end of the movement phase, my Fuselage is going to drop its payload on those mortifiers, so I want some 4+ here.
Okay, so that's 3 mortal wounds. They'll be ignoring them on 6s. So 2 wounds go through.
First things first, the Daedalus is going to point at the mortifiers to give a +1 aura on that unit for stuff within range of him. I'm going to shoot with the Fuselage first at your mortifiers. So hoping to chink off a couple of wounds here. I'm hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s because of my Canticle. So I've got 9 hits and I'm looking for 5s and 6s. So just the 1 wound.
Okay, so 3+ save. Nope, and they ignore it on a 6. Nope, that's 1 more wound on the mortifiers.
The Castellan Robots are up next and they're going to shoot at the mortifiers. I'm hoping to at least kill one or two of these with this volley. So I'm hitting on threes because of the +1 from the Daedalus, and I'm rerolling these. And rerolls.
Wounded on 3, so yes. Okay, so that's 13 wounds on the mortar fires, so 5+ saves here. This is fairly critical, I think. That's not too bad, so we've saved a couple. 1 damage each of these.
Just 1 damage each, yeah.
So they will be ignoring these on 6s.
Okay.
So that is 7 wounds. So that will kill 1, and another 1, and put 1 more on 1. So you've got rid of 2 of them, Dave.
My infiltrators are going to go next. Now, it is imperative that I kill this Sisters unit. So this is slightly bonkers, but I'm going to spend 3 CP. I'm going to spend 1 CP on Protector Doctrine, which makes them +1 to hit. And then I'm going to spend 2 CP on Wrath of Mars. So any 6s to wound do an additional mortal wound as well. Because they're only wounded on 4s. And although they get a lot of shots, I need this Sisters unit dead. So I'm hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because of my cancel. And the rerolls. I'm wounded on 4s, and any 6s are a mortal wound as well.
Okay, so when the dust settles, that's 4 mortal wounds. That's the squad almost dead. So
and actually, they're wounds as well.
Okay, so if I pass all of these on a 3+, the squad's not wiped. No, they're dead.
The Daedalus is going to shoot next. He's going to hopefully plink off some wounds off the mortifiers. He has a pistol which is D3 shots. So that's just the 1 shot, unfortunately. He's hitting on 2s because of his +1 buff. So he has hit. It's strength 6, so I'm wounding you on 3s. And I have failed to wound you. My Warlord, my Tech Priest Dominus is going to go next. Slight error. I meant to put him so you could get line of sight on these, but he hasn't, unfortunately. So we're not going to waste his shots. We're going to shoot at these Sisters. He gets D3 with his Eradication Ray.
3 shots.
So 3 shots. So hitting on 2s. So re-rolling 1s for himself. Yep, they're all hits. Strength 6, so wounded on 2s. So that is 2 wounds at -2.
Okay, so 5+ saves on the Sisters. 2 dead Sisters.
My Dune Crawler is up next. He's going to fire everything at these annoying mortifiers. They've got to die before they get into combat. So I'll shoot with the Stubbers first. So these are hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s because of the cancel. Re-rolling those 2 1s. Okay, so just 1 miss. It is strength 4.
Wounded on 5s.
So that is just the 1 wound.
Okay, and that'll be a 3+, oh no, 4+ save now because the Anchorite's dead. No, so they ignore it on a 6. Nope, that's another wound taken off the mortifier.
The Neutron Laser's up next. Let's see if it can do better than it did in turn 1. So it gets D3 shots. It's a good start. 3 shots. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Yeah, let's hit with everything. Can it wound this time? Strength 10.
2s.
It most certainly can. That's 3 wounds. So Matt doesn't get a save because of the -4 AP. So we're just going to roll for damage. So the first one does 6.
Okay, so I ignore these on 6s. So I ignore 5 of that and take 1 damage.
The second one, now that goes up to a minimum of 3. That's our special rule.
Okay, so 3 damage. And again, I ignore these on 6s. No, so 3 go through.
And then the last one, I could do with this doing at least 4 to finish the unit. Oh, it's done 4 damage, can Matt shrug any?
Yep, he's got 1 wound left.
My Vanguard have got their eye on this sister squad here. So they're going to open fire with their radium carbines. And the rerolls. And then I'm wounding on 4s.
Okay, so that's 7 saves to make. There's no rend on these.
No rend.
So 3+ saves. And there's 1 dead sister.
The Rangers are going to try and finish what the Vanguard started by killing these sisters. So we're going to rapid fire with the rifles first. Not great. Wounded on 3s, Opus strength 4. That is 2 wounds.
Any rend on them?
Nope, full save.
So 3+ save. 1 wound.
I've got the radium pistol from the Alpha in that unit, so he's hitting on a 3. He has hit. It is strength 3, so I'm going to be looking at 4s. It is a wound, and that is a full save again, Matt.
Okay. And that's another dead sister.
My Cataphrone Destroyer is going to have to finish the job and kill these sisters. I was tempted to split fire, but I want to definitely get those sisters dead. So we're going to go with the grav gun first. So these hit on 4s, rerolling 1s. So 1 reroll there. Okay, so 3 hits. They are strength 5. Ooh, so only 1 wound.
Any rend on them?
That is Ren -3.
So 6 plus save. Nope, 1 dead sister.
And then finally I've got the Cognos Flamer from that destroyer. Assault D6, only 2. Automatically hit, it is strength 4. Oh, so just 1 wound.
Any
No rend.
Okay, so 3 plus save on the final sister. She passes.
We are into the charge phase. My infiltrators are going to go up first and they're going to declare a charge on your Canoness, Matt.
Okay.
So they need a 9. They have got a 7. This is a pretty integral charge out of all my charges. So I'm actually going to spend a CP and reroll that.
Puts you on a single command point.
No, failed it. My Castellan Robots are hopefully going to charge better than the infiltrators did, and they're going to declare a charge on both the sisters and the mortifier.
Okay.
Okay. So that is a 6, which will be good enough to get them in. My destroyer is now going to charge your lone sister. See if you can do it. You most certainly can on an 8. I've decided to go with my robots first. I'm not going to split my attacks. I know this mortifier only has 1 wound left, but these robots are kitted out for shooting. So I'm not going to take a gamble. So they get 3 attacks each. I am re-rolling 1s in the fight phase because of the other canticle. So hit on 4s. Strength 6, so wounded on 3s. That is 2 wounds.
Okay, have we got any AP on them?
No AP.
So 3 plus save. He's passed them both.
Right, my destroyer is going to try and finish this sister. This sister unit is so resilient. So he gets 2 attacks. He is hitting on 4s. And he's missed. Okay,
so this sister's going to punch this crawling tank thing back in the face. So she is hitting on a 4, which she has done. And she is... What save have you got?
I have got a 4 plus save.
4 plus save, okay. So she is wounding on a 5, which she has done.
Any AP?
No AP, she's just punching your face.
I've passed it.
Okay, so up next we've got the sisters over here. They are going to pile in, just to get nearer to that objective. And yeah, they're going to punch some robots in the face. So they're hitting on 4s. They've hit twice. And they will be wounding on, what are you, toughness 6?
Toughness 7.
Wounding on 6s. Nope, nothing there. Okay, so the mortifier is going to hit back with its ridiculous 15 attacks.
I cannot believe this.
Okay, and wounding on 5s. That's pretty good. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 saves to make it -2.
4 plus saves. I have dropped 3 of them. Is that just 1 damage each?
1 damage each, yeah. Okay, so we've got some battle shock to do. So we've got the lone sister down here. She's lost 4 of them. I'm just going to use a miracle dice and pass that on a 1.
Okay.
The unit there can't fail, but if I roll a 1, they get a miracle dice, which they do, which is a 5. And the mortifier can fail on a 6, so let's see if it passes this. No, it's passed.
Okay, so the only secondaries I achieved there are 2 points for each of the mortifiers I killed, so I've got a total of 6 victory points. Unfortunately, my infiltrators failed their charge. I haven't got these objectives, which is a shame. I'd hoped to get the mission secondary objective, but there you go.
So that puts you on a total of 29 points at the end of your turn 2. Okay, so going into my turn 2, in my command phase I gain a command point, and what's really handy here is that I've got 3 objectives. So I get 5 for having 1, another 5 for having 2, and another 5 for having more than Dave has. So 15 points accrued at the start of the turn. Okay, so onto my movement phase. We've had some shenanigans all over the board, really. The sister's fallen back, but making sure she's still within 3 of that objective. The tanks move just to make it difficult for Dave to get her. If he wants to get it, they're going to have to charge the tank. The other sisters have fallen back again just to hold that objective. Mortifier can't do a lot. My crazy murder ladies are running up towards these exposed characters. and the Canoness has moved so she can get a shot off at Dave's Warlord and then join in the fight to bring down this robot as well. Okay, so we'll open up with the Preacher. He's going to shoot the Daedalus with his shotgun. So 2 shots, hitting on 4s. He is hit twice. So is he within half range? I think he is. So he has +1 strength.
Toughness 4.
So 4+. That is nothing. So the Canoness is going to take a shot at Dave's Warlord with her relic pistol. So hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. She is hit with everything. Wounding on 3s. She has wounded with 2 of them. So that'll be -2 AP.
-2 AP puts me on a 4+ save. Pass 1.
So that's 2 damage. Okay, so the mortar fire is going to shoot its heavy bolters in the face of this. It'll be hitting on 4s. It is within range of the sister, so rerolling 1s. Which there's a few of. It's not hit with many here though. So that's 3 hits. What are you, toughness 6?
Toughness 7.
Toughness 7, so wounding on 5s. That is 1 wound though, at -1.
So it takes my 2+ down to a 4+. I failed it.
Okay, so the Exorcist is going to fire its heavy bolter at the Destroyer, and then it's going to fire its rockets at the Dune Crawler. Again, it's going to use the 1 CP stratagem so it can re-roll the number of shots that it gets as well. So we'll start with a heavy bolter, hitting on 3s. And that was a spectacular fail there, but it needs to cause 1 wound.
Toughness 5.
So 4+. It's wounded. What? -1 AP.
So on a 5. Oh, he's
6.
passed.
And then the rockets at the Dune Crawler. So 3d3 shots. And it is going to re-roll just this. It's going to re-roll 2 of them. So 7 shots at the Dune Crawler. So hitting on 3s. And that is terrible. So,
wow.
I'm going to use my last command point to re-roll 1 of these dice.
Don't blame you.
So it's hit twice, and then it is wounding on 3s.
Yeah.
That is 2 wounds at AP -3.
Okay, so that goes on to my. I'll use your. Oh, nope. That goes down to my -3. Did you say?
Yeah.
So 5+ invulnerable save. I've made 1.
Okay, and that does 6 damage with a miracle dice.
6 damage. Okay.
Onto the charge phase. The Canoness is going to charge the robot. So she gets 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with her +1. So she is going to go. Whoop. The Repentia are going to go in against both of the characters here. So they've got a 10-inch charge. Okay, and then the tank is also going to charge this unit and this unit.
Okay. I am going to spend my last CP then, and I'm going to overwatch with the Destroyer.
Okay.
I'm going to fire his Flamer first. This is auto hitting. Let's see how many shots he gets.
2.
Just 2. It is strength 4.
You need 6s.
Nothing with that. And now I'm going to fire with the heavy grav cannons. So I'll do 6s here. Not a single one.
So yeah, then we'll charge in. And that is comfortably in combat with both. So the Canoness is going to swing against the robot. She's got 5 attacks +1 from the nearby missionary. So he's hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. So yeah, that's pretty good. She is only strength 3 though, so she's wounding on 6s. That is 2 6s at -3 AP. So that is 2 wounds that have gone through on the robot.
So it's dead.
Bye.
Okay, so on a 6+, the robot is going to explode. He does not.
Okay, so the Repentia are going to split their attacks against the 2 characters. So we'll do the one fighting the Warlord first. She gets an additional attack for the nearby missionary, and she's hitting on 4s, re-rolling everything. So he re-rolls that. Nope, so that's 2 hits. She is wounding on 3s.
Toughness 4.
So wounding on 3s. That is 1 wound at AP -2.
-2 gives me a 4+ save. I failed it.
2 damage.
Okay, 1 wound left.
Okay, and then the other one onto the other character, the Daedalus. Again, hitting on 4s, re-rolling everything. So that's 3 hits. Your toughness 3. So these are wounding on
4.
So wounding on 3s. And that is another 1. AP -3.
Okay, 5+ invulnerable save. He's okay.
And finally, the tank will put some attacks on the Destroyer. So he gets 3 attacks, hitting on 6s. It is hit. It is strength 7.
It's toughness 5.
So 3+. It has wounded.
Okay, no AP.
No AP.
You've done it. You've killed him. My warlord is going to try and take some revenge on these Repentia with his relic axe, the Pater Cocktooth. He gets 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. He's hit with all three attacks. He is strength 6 with this weapon, so he's wounded on 2s. He's wounded all 3 times at -2.
Yep, don't matter. They've got a 5+ ignore. 5+ invulnerable, sorry. Saves 2 of them. How much damage does that do?
It does 3 damage.
So ignores the damage on a 6. Nope, she's dead.
My Daedalus is now going, so he only gets the 2 attacks with his Servo Claw. He is hitting on 4s. Okay, so he's hit once. He is strength 5. No, he's not. He's strength 4.
Okay, so 3s.
He's failed. My Rangers are going to try and do some damage to this tank if they can. I'm going to go with the 4 normal Rangers first. So they're hitting on 4s. Okay, so just the 1 hit. No 1s to reroll.
Wounded on a 6.
Wounded on a 6. He's not wounded. And then finally we've got the Alpha with his Taser Goad. He is also hitting on 4s. He's hit once. He is strength 5.
Okay, so hit wounded on 5.
He is failed to wound.
Okay, so we've only got 1 battle shock to take. I can't fail it, but if I roll a 1, I get a miracle dice. No. So at the end of turn 2, I also get a couple of secondaries. So we've got the 1 from the scenario. I've got both the top and the bottom one at the screen there, so I get 4 for that. And I have more objectives than Dave, so I get another 3. So at the start of Dave's turn 3, he gets a command point, and I also get another miracle dice. That's a 2.
Okay, so I'm going to activate the same Warlord trait, the overloading safeguards. I also get to roll Canticles for a new turn. Let's see what I get. So I get a 3 and a 5. So I've got reroll any fail hit rolls of 1 in the fight phase, and on a 5 I've got +1 strength. Okay, I get 5 victory points for holding that objective still. So that is the end of my movement. The Fusilier has shot across the battlefield once again. Really impressed with this flyer so far. He's going to try and drop a bomb on this mortifier in a moment. Infiltrators have moved up to this objective, also to get in range with their guns on potentially some characters. The Rangers have fallen out of combat, so that frees up the neutron laser to shoot at the tank. The Vanguard have moved up to try and get closer to that objective, potentially charge the tank to get even closer, we'll see. This guy has fallen back, so he could get in range to heal the Dune Crawler, which is what I'm going to do now at the end of the movement phase. So he heals D3 wounds. Heals 3 wounds. And then also, end of the movement phase, I'm going to drop my Fusilier bombs on this mortifier, so I get 3d6, any 4 pluses, or a mortal wound. So that is 2 mortal wounds.
Okay, so it ignores them on 6s. Nope, it is dead.
Right, first up for shooting, it is going to be my Dune Crawler. So I'm going to split the fire. I'm going to fire the 2 heavy stubbers at Cannon S, and I'm going to fire the neutron laser at the Exorcist tank. Okay, so he's hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s from the Dominus. So this is wounded on 3s, so I've got 2 fails there, so you've got 3 saves, full saves.
Okay, 3+ saves. She has made them all.
D3 shots with the neutron laser at the Exorcist. Ooh, tasty 3 again. Hitting on 3s. Re-rolling 1s. Okay. Strength 10, so we're looking at 3s. That is 3 wounds, sir, -4.
So that is just the invulnerable save on 6+. Make one of them.
Okay, so that is 2d6 damage, minimum of 3. That is 5. I am going to use...
That's minimum of 3, so it's 7 damage.
Yeah. I'm going to use a CP to re-roll that 1.
Your last command point?
My last command point again. Okay, so it's still 3. My Fusilier is going to fire all of its Cognus heavy stubbers at your Exorcist. So we're looking at 3s. We have got 1 6.
Okay, and then 3+ save, which it makes.
with no other targets, the Vanguard are going to try their very best to pink off these wounds off this Exorcist. So I've got quite a lot of shots, they're just not a very good strength. So hitting on freeze, no re-rolls, and you're about to see the most amount of 6s I've ever rolled.
2 6s.
2 6s.
Okay, so I've rolled a 5, and 1 goes through, so it's got 1 wound left.
The Infiltrator is going to slightly split their fire. One lonely Infiltrator is going to take his 5 shots at the tank. The other 4, however, are going to shoot at these sisters. So we'll do the one on the Exorcist first. Hitting on freeze. Oh, that's not good, is it? Wounding on 6. No, nothing. And then the rest on the sisters unit.
Cover 3, wounds on 4.
Okay, so that's not too bad. That is 2, 4, 6 full saves.
Okay, so 6 3+ saves on the sisters. 1 dies.
I just have the 1 shot left. That is the pistol from the Daedalus into that Repentia that he's in combat with. He gets D3 shots. He gets 3 shots. He is hitting on freeze. He's hit once. And he's strength 6.
Okay. 2s will do it.
Yep, and that's -1.
Okay, so just 5+ ignore. Nope, how much damage does it do?
That is a damage D3, because you're within 6 inches. Just 1.
So they'll ignore this. So yep, she ignores it on a 5+.
The Vanguard are going to declare a charge on both this lone sister that's left and this pesky tank. So let's see what I get. I get a 5, 6, 7. Okay, so my Vanguard are going to fight this tank. Can they take off this last wound? So the blue dice are going to be the power sword on the Alpha. So I'm looking for 4s, and I'm re-rolling 1s because of the Canticle. So I've got 2 to re-roll. And I'm looking for 6s to wound you. So that is just 2 wounds, full save.
Okay, I'm going to use a miracle dice for one of them. And rolled a 2, it is destroyed. Okay, so on a 6 it blows up. It does not. Okay, so I'm going to fight with the Repentia next. She's still near the priest and still near the canoness, so yeah, she's getting 3 attacks. So she's hitting on, she hasn't charged this phase, or been charged, so she's hitting on 4s but re-rolling 1s. So 2 hits, wounding on 2s. Yep, 2 wounds at -3.
Invulnerable save. Oh, he's made them both. Unbelievably, Daedalus is still alive, so he's going to have his 2 attacks back at this Repentia. So he is hitting on 4s. He's re-rolling 1s because of my Canticle. He has hit you both times, Matt. He is strength 4.
Okay. Yeah, wounds them both.
Wounds them both. That is -1.
Okay, 5+ invulnerable save. Makes 1 of them. How much damage is that?
It is just 1 damage.
Okay, so she ignores it on a 5+. Which she does not. I gain a miracle dice because she dies. With a 1. And finally the Battle Sister is going to punch these guys back. So hitting on a 4. She doesn't hit. Okay, so morale check at the end of turn 3. I can't fail this, but again, if I get a 1, I get a miracle dice, which I do not. So end of the turn, Dave. Have you got some points here?
I did get some points. So I got 2 VPs for killing that last mortar fire. I got 3 VPs for killing the big tank with the Exorcist. So that's 5 in total. That's for bringing it down. I've then secured 4 because I hold these 2 objectives, so that's a secondary objective from the mission itself.
Yeah, so I put you on 43 points at the end of your turn versus 42 for me. It's very close.
Very close.
Okay, so command phase, I gain a command point and I gain just 5 victory points because I'm near that objective. Unfortunately, it's all gone a bit wrong down here, but it has held up Dave a turn, so we'll see if these heroes in the centre can get into combat this turn and do some business, hopefully. Okay, so that's the movement phase. There's not a lot left of the Sister's army. She's going to have to stay in combat there and hopefully kill one of those. The Battle Sisters have ran through the building, hopefully going to get a charge off and secure that objective. The priest's holding that objective because I'm running out of options to take them, really. So yeah, let's go on to the shooting phase and see what I can do. Okay, so this guy's going to open up with his shotgun into the dude there. So he's hitting on 4s. He is hit once. What toughness are you?
Toughness 4.
Toughness 4. So he's within half range, so 4+. Yep, he's done it.
Okay, 4+. I have failed it.
Okay, so the Cannoness is going to fire the Wrath of the Emperor into the tank.
Okay, into the Dune Crawler.
So we are hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. They've all hit. Strength 5, toughness 7. So wounding on 5s. She has done 4 wounds to
wow.
EP -2.
Okay, so my 5+ saves. Okay, so I failed 2 of those.
It's 4 damage.
4 damage down.
Okay, so the Battle Sisters are going to open up at the tank as well. So
Matt wanting to do as much damage as he can to it.
they'll be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, they will hit. And again, these will be wounding on 6s. Toughness 7, are you?
Toughness 7, yeah.
So 5s. And another 2 wounds on it.
Okay, 2 wounds. Any AP?
No AP.
Okay, can I save any? I can save them both.
Okay, so the Cannoness is going to go first. She is going to charge both units here.
Okay. See what we get, Matt.
It is 10 inches. And then the Battle Sisters are going to go in against the against both units as well.
Hard charge to fail.
Okay, so the Battle Sisters are going to go in 3 attacks with the squad leader.
And this is all going on the Dominus?
All on the Dominus, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. 1 hit. That's all he needs. A toughness 4.
Toughness 4.
So 4+ save. 4+ a wound. It's wounded.
It's wounded. Any rends?
Nope.
Let's see if I can save my Dominus. I can.
So the Cannoness is going to have a swing at him as well. So she will be hitting on 2. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. She's good because she's rolled a few there. So 4 wounds, 4 hits. Okay, so she is wounding on 5s. She hasn't wounded any. She's going to have to use her last command point to re-roll one of these.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, the Vanguard are going to strike against this Lone Sister. They're looking for 4s again, the blue dice of the Power Sword. Re-rolling 1s because of the Canticle. Yep. Get rid of that. And looking at 4s to wound. Okay, Matt. So that is 5 wounds, full save.
So 4 saves to make on the base save. She's dead.
I'm going to fight back with the Dune Crawler. He's going to put his attacks on the Sisters. Now, because he's degraded, he only gets D3 attacks, but it is free. Getting on 5s. He's hit once. He is strength 6.
2s.
My Dominus was incredibly tempted to fight the Cannoness, but he's going to go against these 2 sisters here instead. So he gets 3 attacks. He is hitting on 3s. He's re-rolling those ones. Okay. He is now wounding on his +2 strength, so strength 6.
2s.
That is 2 wounds at -2.
Okay, 5+ invulnerable save. Nope. Yeah, dead. Okay, so at the end of my turn 3, unfortunately, if I'd just had a single sister there, I would have been able to have some victory points here. Without that, unfortunately, I get nothing at the end of this turn. Okay, so at the start of the 4th battle round, I gain a miracle dice.
Okay, so I gain a command point for the beginning of my turn. Again, I'm going to use the same Warlord trait, the overloading safeguards. I get to roll for canticles. So I've got 2 5s, so that just gives me +1 strength on that one.
Okay, and then at the end of the command phase, you get 15 points because you've got 1 objective, 2 objectives, and more objectives than me. Putting you on 58 to my 47. It's looking strong for the Mechanicus here.
Before I forget, the Dominus is going to heal himself for D3 wounds. He gets back a wound. End of the movement phase, my Dominus is going to heal my Dune Crawler for 1. So he regains a wound. And then I'm also going to drop a bomb on this missionary. So I only get 1 dice. On a 4+ I do a mortal wound. I don't do anything. At the start of the shooting phase, the Daedalus has a cool ability that once per battle he can either heal something or he can deal D3 mortal wounds to an enemy unit within 3 inches. So he's going to do D3 mortal wounds to your missionary. Matt, he has done 2 mortal wounds. The Daedalus is now going to follow up with his pistol. So D3 shots. That is 2 shots. We are hitting on freeze. He has missed once. It is strength 6.
2s.
He has wounded. That is -3 because you're within 6 inches.
Okay, so 4+ invulnerable save. Yep, it makes it.
Okay. Traitors are going to shoot at the missionary. So they get a whole bucket load of dice. Hitting on freeze, no rerolls. 4s to wound. That many full saves.
Okay, so 4+ saves for these. He's dead.
My heavy stubbers from the Dune Crawler are going to go into this Cannoness and would be -1 to hit you. So I'm hitting on 5 pluses. Okay. That's still really good. Strength 4.
Great. Okay, 4 3+ saves. She's fine. Okay, so the Cannoness is up first with her 4 attacks, hitting the Dominus, 2+, re-rolling 1s. So she's hit with everything. She's only strength 3, so wounding him on 5s. But she has wounded twice at AP -3.
5 up in vulnerable save. Failed 1.
1 damage.
The Dominus is going to put all of his attacks on that Cannoness. So 3 attacks, hitting on freeze. Okay, they've all hit. It is strength 6.
Wounding on 2s.
Oh, 2 have missed. So just the 1 at -2.
Okay, 4+ invulnerable save. She's fine.
The Dune Crawler is going to do his last attack. So D3 attacks on the Cannoness. Just the 1. Hitting on a 5. Nothing. So the end of my turn 4. As I have these 2 objectives, I score another 4 victory points from the secondary objective from the mission.
So that puts you on 62 to my 47. It's going to be an uphill battle in my turn forward by 1 Cannoness. So straight onto my shooting phase. I'm going to shoot that tank with my relic pistol. So 4 shots, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Rerolling the 1. Okay, strength 5, so I need 5 to wound you.
Yep.
And that is nothing.
And we're going straight into the combat phase and not much else happening. So the Dominus gets to go first and he's going to strike at the Cannoness. He has hit all 3 times and then he is wounding on 2s. So he's wounded all 3 times at -2.
Okay, so she gets a 4+ invulnerable save. She passes 1. How much damage does that do?
They have 3 damage each.
She is dead. So yeah, and with that my army is wiped out, so I get no points at the end of turn 4. So we do, however, in 9th edition move on to turn 5.
And well, yeah, we're on to turn 5. So I score 15 victory points for having these 3 objectives. There's going to be no movement or anything because there's no other victory points I can gain by moving. So I'm just gonna score another 4 from holding those 2, and that marks the end of the game.
Yes, I put you on 81 to my 47. So what did you think of the game, Dave?
Very good. I mean, it's my first game of 9th and my first game of 40k for a very long time, and I really enjoyed it. That was really cool.
How did you find the secondaries work in this?
Much better than the previous missions from 8th edition. I think they're much more of there's so much more tactics involved. It took me ages just to choose them at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Like these guys coming on and being able to push onto these objectives. Yeah, unfortunately I started losing bodies quite quickly. I was hoping for the mortifiers to hit combat and do some damage early. Unfortunately they didn't, so in hindsight maybe they would have been better keeping off and bringing on later on in the game.
Yeah.
Cool, well thanks for watching the battle report. We're going to have some more battle reports up hopefully every week or so over on the YouTube channel. So yeah, stay tuned and thanks for watching.